I am here to answer the question, how was the new James Gunn Superman movie? But before I answer that question, I have a question for you. What exactly are you looking for in this movie? Are you looking for something similar to Henry Cavill's Man of Steel? Are you looking for the next step in a serious, realistic rendition of Superman? Or are you looking for a dark, edgy Superman? Well, if your answer to any of these questions was yes, then this ain't it. Save your money. Save your time. Save yourself from being triggered. I went to see the movie Superman on its opening weekend, and I went in with no expectations because I could tell by the trailers this was definitely going to be a very different Superman movie compared to the last 4 or 5 live action depictions of the character that I can remember. But personally, as a longtime comic book fan myself, I've always thought superheroes fascinate us because they allow us to disengage from our own limitations long enough for us to ask ourselves, if I could do anything, what would I do? Superman has always been the go-to superhero with almost limitless power. He can fly, he's super strong, super fast, shoots lasers from his eyes, etc., etc., etc. So when we first start this movie, and no spoiler alert here because from the first trailer we see the scene, the first thing we see is a broken, battered, and bleeding, yes, bleeding Superman. So to me, what this is intended to do is to make the character of Superman relatable. Before we see the triumph, we see the struggle. From there, the next thing we are given is Superman's internal motivation. No spoiler alert here because I'm not going to tell you what that motivation is. And then from there, we are sent on a roller coaster ride of over-the-top action scenes, goofy humor, and even goofier characters. Sound familiar? If not, welcome to the world of comic books. Because that's what this movie is, a big comic book brought to the big screen. And maybe you don't like comic books, which is okay. But let me just remind you, Superman is a comic book character. And I understand if you did not choose to see this movie because you wanted to see a comic book brought to the big screen, which again is fine, but if that is the case, may I politely suggest that you save your money, save your time, and save yourself from being triggered. And just don't go to the theaters to see this movie. Also, I would like to add that this movie pulls from a variety of source materials. For example, the capable, smart, yet prone to suffer from a little bit of self-doubt portrayal of Lois Lane is a different take from all the previous live-action Lois Lanes, but is a bit reminiscent of the Lois Lane from the animation My Life with Superman.
I'm not a genius, or billionaire, or a super person. I'm just me. And it's not enough.
One of the standout performances, surprisingly serious yet unexpectedly comedic, was that of Mr. Terrific, which to me was inspired by the cartoon Justice League's Green Lantern, aka John Stewart, just projected into a different character.
Is that all you got?
The acting in this movie ranged from fair to pretty impressive, seeing as this is an intentionally campy movie. Probably the top 3 standout actors in this movie would be Maria Gabriela de Faria as the engineer. To me, she came across as the most menacing character in the movie. She seemed not quite human, unpredictable, and at times seething with anger and slightly unhinged. Whenever her character was on the screen, it was hard to look away from her facial expressions, regardless of whatever else was happening on the screen. Next would be Eddie Gathecki as Mr. Terrific. From his body language to his deadpan lines, you could almost imagine that this character was used to being essentially the only adult in the room, forced to deal with irresponsible teammates and people who don't take a serious situation, well, serious. His chemistry with Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane was probably the funniest and most engaging interactions in the movie. And last but certainly not least was Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. Whenever his character was on screen, he was engaging, dismissive of everyone around him, and the personification of narcissistic behavior. Confident and matter of fact until his true motivations are revealed, which probably makes the transformation even more noticeable. The overall storyline, I suspect, was influenced by the comic book storyline of Superman Unchained, complete with political implications of doing the right thing and the relationship between Lex Luthor, the military, public opinion, and of course, the Man of Steel. All in all, this movie was a fun, action-packed, never dull, sometimes corny, in a good way, trip that keeps you entertained and guessing what's going to happen next. And in the end, it has you asking yourself, if I could do anything, what should I do? And that to me has always been the goal of comic books and superheroes. And for that reason, I would give this movie an 8 out of 10.